And welcome back to this week's episode of Brown on Black. I am your host, Luana Nelson Brown, and joining me is my co-host slash guest, Brienne Ward. Yay! Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
And Brienne is a certified Zumba. Is it just Zumba instructor or Zumba fitness instructor?
It's licensed Zumba instructor.
Licensed Zumba instructor,
Yes.
as well as a certified, I got it
Yep.
now, sexual assault counselor advocate with Polk County Crisis and Advocacy
Yes.
Services.
Yes.
And she has married those two careers in a seamless way to create Zumba with Brienne. And we forgot to tell people that. Zumba with Brienne. And there is a Facebook page.
There is.
Called Zumba with Brienne,
Yes.
that you can join if they have any questions or comments. They can go to the Facebook page, or you can always email me at luana@brownonblack.com, and I'll get you in touch with Brienne. Or do you have any contact information?
I do. If you're interested about Zumba or just, the sexual assault aspect of my job, you can reach me at bre8684@yahoo.com.
Awesome. And so you can ask Brienne questions directly, or you can log in the chat right now and ask her questions right this minute. So you have married those two things beautifully.
Yes.
And I got a couple of points I want to get to. We started a little late, so we're going to go over a little bit, okay?
That's fine.
Before we end the show. But first, we left the break
talking
about the beginning of a class, because it's really been a process, hasn't it?
It has been a process. Let me tell you something. When you have a goal, when you have a vision, when you have been ordained by God to do something, there's always going to be barriers. There's always going to be hiccups, and there's always going to be a power struggle between you and God, because you think you know what's best for you and your thing.
It's so true.
So let me go back to the story.
Okay.
So I got licensed to do some Zumba things. I was using some Zumba music in which I was given at the training.
Right.
And I was listening to it. I'm like, oh,
it's just ain't working. Right.
But it's Zumba music.
Right.
Zumba said it's okay.
That's right.
So I'm playing this music, doing Zumba classes with maybe 5 to 10 people at the time. It was about a year ago. And my music just kept cutting out.
It sure did.
It just, my speakers were cutting out. And I said, why are you cutting out?
Yes.
And the Holy Spirit, he told me, because I told you to change the music and you're not doing that.
Sure did. And for a good week or two, we would come in conversation and say, I think I'm supposed to change the music. Well, change it. But, Zumba said this is good music, but as a Christian too, this is something that we, struggle with. I don't think I've told you I've changed every song on my iPod.
You have.
I've had to do that to get through some personal struggles of my own. But I've changed every song on my iPod because, secular music is so heavy. It's so heavy.
And, I don't want to put so much credit on secular music because, there's still some really great artists
Awesome
out there.
Artists.
However, the music in which Zumba, and just in general.
Right.
It was unsafe music in my eye. I see it through the lens of being a sexual assault counselor.
Exactly.
A lot of songs dealt with objectification of women and sex with women and drugs and clubs and drugs with women.
Exactly.
So I didn't want anybody to come into my environment to
feel unsafe. Absolutely.
Especially if they just came from that environment.
Right.
I want them to feel like, okay, I can finally be myself.
Right.
I can finally let my hair down and be free.
And even those of us who work in that environment, being a fellow sexual assault counselor advocate, and you're dealing with that all day, you can come to the class and you're not still at work.
Yes. Yes.
You're not still at work.
Because this class is tailored for families and children.
Right.
And imagine a child sitting in that room listening to that.
Exactly.
I am condoning that it's okay for you to do these things.
Exactly.
And God said, okay, change your music. I did.
She
and
did.
Ever since I did,
it's just skyrocketed.
It is elevated.
It's skyrocketed. Yeah. Just like, and the final time was, remember that time she hadn't changed the music yet. And so got the speakers and everything together, and they would not cut on. Do you remember that? They would not work at all.
So hurt.
Yeah, because I think we had to cancel that class.
That was my final warning.
Yeah, that was the fight. It would not say a mumbling word. As that song, that mumbling word. And then the next class period, she had changed her music, and the speakers worked perfectly.
Fine.
And it was the same system.
Fine. So I will say that when you have a dream, when you have a goal,
yes,
if you are a believer, put it before God, and God will make the road plain.
Absolutely.
Our problem is listening. And I think the reason why we don't listen is because we've been hurt before.
Yes.
And we want some form of control in our environment because we've never been given that full opportunity to do so.
Absolutely.
And I've had that opportunity, but I just thought I knew best. And I didn't.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I just want to say, never turn your dreams off because there's a barrier.
That's right. See, we're going to have to do another show just on that.
How many minutes do we have?
We have, you know what, we have 4 more minutes. And so I really want to get to something that I just found, a study I just found.
Oh, yes,
on stress and exercise.
Yes.
Now, this study, and I don't have it up in front of me, this study said that most women are suffering from chronic stress.
Yes.
So stress that is long term. And I think, and I've said this before, African American women are suffering from generational stress.
Oh, yes.
You know, now I don't even know if that's a term. Maybe I just made it up, right? But stress through the generations. So we're suffering from 400 years of stress.
Well, we'll call that developmental trauma.
Developmental
that's
trauma.
What we'll call it, because that's in the DSM TR4.
Okay.
And that's exactly what it is.
Okay. So there is a term for it. Developmental trauma.
Yeah.
That's what we're suffering from. And now in this study, it says that when you suffer from chronic stress like that, it overloads your adrenal glands. And so you have adrenal dysfunction syndrome.
You are so in my box.
See, I know, me too.
So in my box.
Yeah.
This is what I want to talk about.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. See how God works, because I've been on this for a while now.
Yes.
And once you get that, your hormones are all off balance, all out of whack. And we don't even, as women, we think our level of stress is normal.
Yeah.
When it really isn't.
It's not.
And so our hormones are out of whack, and we're gaining weight around the abdomen, around the middle.
Which is the most deadliest place they have it.
Exactly. And we're suffering from fatigue.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all out there, but I have been tired for years, right? And trying to figure, okay, I eat better. I'm still tired. Get 8 hours of sleep. I'm still tired. I truly believe that it is a result of chronic stress.
Yes. Let me put because this is exactly where I want to go. And I know we don't have that much time.
That's okay.
But let me tell you this. Zumba, the form of physical exercise, Zumba is just an outlet for that. There's so many. There's yoga, there's Zumba, there's step class. I mean, there's so many other things. But one thing that I try to do my best and advocate for when I'm teaching Zumba fitness is getting the left and right brain to work.
Right.
Let me tell you this. Trauma hits here, up, right?
Oh.
So our brain works bottom down or bottom up.
Okay.
But there's so many treatment plans. There's so many people who try to treat us from the top down. Most of the times when we are going under stress and we're not self-regulating right, everybody's trying to give us talk therapy, writing, and that's through our cortex, which is our filter.
Sure.
If I'm tired, if I'm dragging, if I'm stressed, my filter is not right.
Exactly.
So you don't know what I'm going to do. You don't know how I'm going to respond to stuff.
Right.
So way to self-regulate us as women, especially with our stress, is hitting that bottom brain, the bottom of the brain, which is where your neurotransmitters are, your serotonin, your dopamine, your norepinephrine, right? Okay. And the only way to get that is I don't want to talk to you. I just want you to move. Right. But what I want you to move is your right and your left side. And that's trauma-informed care. There's so many times when you're going through stress, when people say, "What's wrong with you?" Right. Versus saying, "What happened to you? Are you okay?"
That is so true.
It's a different approach. And when I'm approaching that way, now I can hear you. Exactly. And now I can get self-regulated in here by just doing some sensory things. And so my mode of teaching Zumba is through sensory stuff. So I may be asking you to do your left side, your right side, but that's for you to self-regulate. And in the midst of you doing that, I might ask you to say, a cue. Cue something. Say, woo, or scream.
Right.
Because now what I'm having you do is, as you're regulating, you're screaming that stress out.
Oh, as you're regulating, so fabulous.
You're releasing some of that toxic stress.
Right.
That way you can self-regulate, and those neurotransmitters, your dopamine, your serotonin, all your happy drugs inside of you activate, and they start to go through all your parts of your body.
Wow.
Versus just being stuck in a part of your body.
And see, you know what? I think that's why people smoke. As a former smoker, you know, it releases, you know, those you think anyway.
Yeah, you're blowing it out.
Right, you're blowing it out and you're moving. You know, a lot of people will tell you when they're trying to quit smoking, they still have to mimic the motion. Because it's something about the movement coupled with, you know, the illusion of those feel-good hormones. You just described it perfectly.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Only this is a healthy way to do it. This is a
healthy way, because as adults, we have to learn how to self-regulate, because maybe that parental bond messed us up somehow. And this is a form of this.
Oh,
and if you didn't get this, this feels good.
That's true.
This feels good.
Exactly. This feels good. Exactly.
So you have to learn how to self-regulate yourself, because this was disrupted somehow when you were a child.
Oh, that is so powerful.
I know. So Zumba is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right.
And I'm helping you self-regulate.
And everybody can use that.
Yeah.
But in particular for those of us who suffer from chronic stress, I think it's like coming into your class is like the first time that we've put all those things together. The movement, we're not talking, when somebody's not asking, tell me about your child. It's not that. It's movement, it's left and the right brain, it's our neurosensors, so all those feel good hormones all put together for the first time for a lot of women.
Yes.
And all women can use it. And it's voluntary. And it's only $1. But you also have a free class that you give, don't you?
I do. When Saturdays allow me to, I do have a free class at the Wookie House.
Okay.
917th Street, right up the street from Smoky Row Cafe.
Okay. Wonderful.
And I do a free will offering, so I still have my bucket out, but you're not obligated to pay.
You're not obligated.
You're not obligated to pay.
Right. And see, and I think that also brings, is what's helping the class really continue to grow and grow and grow. After a while, Brianne's going to need her own studio. So that was the part that I really wanted to talk about, was the stress level. And how somehow, and I didn't know that you knew exactly what you were doing, somehow your class seems to relieve that.
Yeah.
And that study, it didn't go into the detail you went into. It did say that the way to relieve adrenal dysfunction is through some form of exercise.
Oh, yeah.
And now we understand why your Zumba class works that way.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're putting all of those things together.
I have
to relieve the stress.
Because not only does it help everybody there, it helps me.
It's true.
It helps me.
It's true.
Yeah.
And all of us can be relieved in some way. All of us are holding some form of stress.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're like me, you don't do other body work, massage, yoga.
You don't have time.
Yeah. Who has time for
and
that?
Who has money?
And money for that. But dollar Zumba, I can do that, right?
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want the viewers to know before we cut out?
No. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
I hope that you do come and join me at King Elementary, 1849 Forest Avenue, $1.
$1.
Zumba classes 5 to 6 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Right. And for those of you viewers who are not in the Des Moines area, find a Zumba instructor. Is there somewhere that they can go to find?
Zumba.com.
Okay. See, just like that. Zumba.com. Find a Zumba instructor. In particular, my women viewers, those of you who are leading hectic, stressful lives, go to Zumba.com, find a Zumba class in your area. And if you are in the Des Moines area, or even if you're visiting, drop by Brienne's Dollar Zumba class.
Love to have you.
You will not be disappointed. So thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for having me, my friend.
I know, it's so exciting. So we're gonna have to do another show on. I'm gonna have to have you on. I'm putting it out here on Living Your Dream. We're gonna do a Living Your Dream show. I'm gonna gather all the people I know to talk about putting your dreams into action.
Yeah.
For right now, you all have a wonderful, fabulous week. If you are watching live, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us live. And if you're watching pre-recorded, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We will see you next Saturday. Our show next Saturday on June 30th is going to be on your right to vote, so you don't want to miss that. Thank you, and we'll see you next time on Brown on Black.